Annie, ready?
Yes.
Good evening. I'd like to call the October 15th meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals to order. If you would please rise. And Greg, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. As a reminder, I want to make sure everybody's turning off their cell phones this evening, unless the attorney asks you to provide some sort of documentation on it. And can I get a roll call, please?
Melissa Mullins-Mischke.
Here.
Earl Cunningham.
Here.
Glenn Minnick.
Here.
Dwayne Hogan.
Here.
Greg Zabala.
Here.
I will entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes from September 17th.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the meeting minutes as written, distributed, and read.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none. Let's start out with our petitions for this evening. Petition number 1 is a variance of developmental standards for Roger E. and Kim L. Rush to construct a second accessory structure 36 feet by 50 feet and to the side of the home instead of the rear for residential use for the property located at 1849 North, 685 East, Rolling Prairie, Indiana, Wills Township, zoned ag on 2 acres.
Notice is adequate.
Thank you. Would you please state your name and address for the record, please?
Kim L. Rush, 1849 North, 685 East, Rolling.
Roger Rush, 1849 North, 685 East, Rolling.
All right. Why don't you guys tell me about this very large structure? What is the need for it?
It's a nice size structure.
I don't have any kind of garage, and I just need a place to store our vehicles and whatever else, like our outdoor furniture and stuff like that. Just basically our needs for
Personal needs.
Okay. Is it going to be a pre-manufactured building?
We've been looking at builders, yes, like Morton Builders,
Okay.
ARS, yes.
Sorry.
Do we have any remonstrators this evening for petition number 1? Anybody either for or against petition number 1?
Well, I'm for it.
You technically don't count because you're a petitioner, but I appreciate your enthusiasm.
Okay.
Is there any remonstrators here tonight for petition number 1? Hearing none, any comments and questions of the board?
My question is for you, Anne Marie. Is this considered a second accessory structure because of the pool? So,
Yes.
I mean, it's really...
That's what we thought.
Any further questions or comments from the board?
Madam President, I move that we approve the petition for the variance of developmental standards for Roger E. and Kim L. Rush to construct a second accessory structure 36 by 50. I think that was with 18-foot height to the side of the home instead of the rear for residential use. Property is located at 1849 North, 685 East, Rolling Prairie, Indiana. Wills Township, Zoned A, agriculture on 2 acres.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, congratulations.
Thank you.
Motion passed. Okay, petition number 2 this evening is a petition for special exception for William and Ashley Wiseman and Vicky Shoup, tenant, to operate a preschool and daycare facility out of an accessory structure previously used as a beauty shop on the property with a maximum of 15 children ages 2 to 4. The property is located at 7255 West Black Road, Michigan City, Indiana, Cool Spring Township, zoned R1B on 2.5 acres. Petition number 2, are you here this evening? How about we just move them down to the end?
Sounds good,
Okay. We'll check again.
just in case.
Petition number 3. Petition for variance of developmental standards for John and Renee Whitaker to construct a second accessory structure 15 feet by 26 feet for residential use, not for residential dwelling, for the property located at 4183 South Wozniak Road, LaPorte, Indiana, New Durham Township, zoned ag on 2 acres. If you would present your legal work to our attorney, please. Don't be stingy over there.
Notice is adequate.
Thank you. Would you state your name and address for the record, please?
John Whitaker, 4183 South Wozniak Road.
Okay. Mr. Whitaker, are you going to replace an existing shed that's there?
Well, I'm going to tear down an old one. It's dilapidated, so it's kind of replacing it. It's 15 by 12, so I figured I might as well make it a little bigger.
Exactly.
Are you going to ask her?
Big enough.
Are you going to have water and electric in the structure?
No, it's none of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I assume you obviously want to get the new one built and transfer the stuff out of the old one before you tear it down. You know,
That's what I'm hoping.
would 6 months be long enough to get the?
Oh,
6
yeah.
months from the time you get the first one built, the new one built, to tear down the first one.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Do we have any remonstrators this evening for petition number 3? Anybody for or against petition number 3? Any remonstrators? Hearing none, are there any further questions or comments of the board?
It's a very neat property.
It's nice.
I agree.
Very well kept.
Thank you. Move forward with it.
I'm going to make the motion then. We'll make a motion for the petition of variance of developmental standard for John and Renee Whitaker to construct a secondary accessory structure 15 feet by 26 feet for residential use, not for residential dwelling. This property is located at 4183 South Wozniak Road, LaPorte. That's in New Durham, zoned ag on 2 acres. And you got 6 months from the time you get it completed to move everything from the old shed to the new shed and take it down.
We'll be done.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I would second that motion.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none. Motion passed. Congratulations.
All right.
Good luck. Okay, petition number 4 this evening is a petition for variance of use for Bellwether Properties, Inc., owner, and Brett Ritchie, tenant, to run a limousine transportation service with 2 limos, 1 sedan, 1 SUV, and a 4 feet by 4 feet business sign. The property is located at 7326 West Johnson Road, Michigan City, Indiana, Cool Spring Township, zoned R1B on .39 acres.
This looks good. That's this. We've not split any of this. This is where they were parked. Yeah.
Attached to the, from Anne Marie.
No, this is adequate.
Thank you. When you return to the podium, if you would please state your name and address for the record, please.
Brett Ritchie, 7326 West Johnson Road.
All right. Brett, I am so interested in hearing about this limousine service. What are the plans for this?
We have actually been in business for 2.5 years. The plan is to...
Could I get you to talk into the microphone or move it up to meet you? Move it up to meet you.
The plan is to
There we
operate
go.
from our address.
You've been doing it for 2 years from this address?
No, actually, we were operating from Franklin Street in Michigan City. We closed that office and moved into this home. We'd like to operate from there.
How long were you at the Franklin Street address?
We were only there for a short time because we had trouble with break-ins. One of the vehicles, actually, the wheel was stolen from it.
Where on Franklin Street were you?
It was right next to Dairy Queen on Franklin Street.
yeah.
There's that office building there.
The Banesfield,
Yep, right
So-
across the street.
It looks to me like you're going to place the vehicles in the front yard.
No, actually, there's plenty of room in the back.
Are you do you intend to put a structure up to contain them or just have them out in the open?
I would like to eventually.
How eventually?
I will have to collaborate with the actual owner of the home.
Okay.
It could be 6 months to a year.
Okay. Do we have any remonstrators for this petition this evening? Okay, so what I'm going to ask you guys to do is if you have a spokesperson for your group, have one person come up and express everything. If not, I don't want to hear, that the board is not interested in hearing the same issue over and over again. So bring something new to the table when you come up. So if you will have a seat,
Oh, sure.
we'll have the first remonstrator come up. That's fine. Yep, we do have a letter and a petition. So if you'd like to come up to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, let's do the letter.
My name is Bert Wellman. My address is 7298 West Johnson Road, Michigan City.
And what kind of concerns do you have?
Well, I wanted to start out by saying this is I don't have a personal vendetta against this man. I've heard nothing but good things about this man, and I also know that his business is 5-star rated. But I just have some questions and concerns because I live one house away. And my questions were the sign, the size of it, whether or not this sign is going to be illuminated or not, and where these vehicles are going to be parked at. On Johnson Road there are a lot of people that have multiple cars in their driveways, cars for sale periodically, but it's these cars that are parked out so close to the road that I didn't like. I have to look at these every day, and like I said, I know that when somebody starts a business or he's been in business a long time, you want to use every angle that you can to market, and I understand that. I've been in business for 30 years myself. Okay. But the vehicles being so close to the road and the size of the sign, that was what my concern was. A sign should be used for marketing purposes, but whatever it is that you're trying to market shouldn't necessarily be used for that reason if you have a sign there. And like I said, I wish him nothing but success in his business, but I didn't like the fact that I had to see those vehicles parked so close to the roadway.
Right. So if he does move them to the rear of the property, does that satisfy you?
I live one house away, and that doesn't bother me at all.
Okay.
Like I said, I wish him nothing but the best in business. He's my neighbor, and I don't wish anything bad.
Right.
But it's just, if those cars were not so much in view, it would make me happy.
And they were in view for a week or so early on, and that's what
Correct.
caused Yes.
Correct. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Bert.
Do we have any additional remonstrators?
I think that we don't have to read it, but we have to mention it.
If you do state your name and address for the record, please.
Yeah, my name is Angelica Bowen, and I live at 401 Swastik Ave in Michigan City.
What kind of concerns or positive?
So I am actually the business manager for Enchanted Limousine and Transport, and I also am a chauffeur for them as well. And I just wanted to state that that is my sole source of income. And really, Brett works extremely hard to do everything that he's done. He's worked extremely hard to get all of his licensing, all of his DOT numbers, and things like that. I just wanted to say he's also very into putting back to our community. We actually donated runs to Knapp School last year. We also did a tour around the beach where he dressed as Santa Claus. That way kids could get a ride in the limo as well. So I just wanted to put out there that he's really a family guy. He's a great going guy, and he is looking to put back into our community as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we do have a letter of remonstrance. We don't need to read it in verbatim. And a petition. Who is the letter from?
The letter is addressed to the board. It's from Kenneth and Joan Johnson. Their address is 7272 West Johnson Road.
And they are not in support of the...
As I was skimming through, it's some of the same concerns that Mr. Wellman addressed. The applicants of this variance request are asking to use the front yard of the property as a parking lot and advertisement for the applicant Richie's business.
Okay.
We can restrict that, obviously.
Yeah, let's turn those down to, and the pictures down the road.
And the pictures that were attached to something, there's a black area marked in the front lawn. When they first
where they were
moved in there, those cars were parked there for probably a week, maybe even 10 days, I don't know. And I thought they were for sale. I drove by there every day thinking, this guy's got these cars for sale.
Are you in the market for a limo?
I wasn't in the market for a limo.
Okay. Do we have any additional remonstrators? Like I said, either for or against. If you'd like to come forward and state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Thomas Rosenbaum. I reside at 1515 Indiana Avenue in the city of LaPorte. I am in favor for this variance. I have known Brett Ritchie for the past 3 years. We are former co-workers. I have used his limousine service on numerous occasions. His vehicles are not derelicts. They pose no threat to the general public being parked on his property in the front. However, I understand the concern to have them moved to the rear. As I mentioned previously, Brett runs a tight ship. There's nothing to worry about in granting this variance. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any further remonstrators? Hearing none of Mr. Ritchie, if I could get you to come back forward, please. So I know I've already asked you once about moving the vehicles to the rear. That's something you feel like we can accomplish.
I have no issue with that.
Okay. And with regards to the sign, you don't, being a limo service, and you go to a location and you pick people up. You don't have people coming and going from your home other than employees.
I have zero walk-in traffic.
Very good. So the need for this sign, the size of it, is that still something you want to stick with, that same sign size?
I don't have an issue with making it smaller.
Okay. The 4x4 foot sign, did you intend to light that sign?
No.
Okay. But you would maybe go smaller?
Yes.
How small would you be willing to go?
2x2. Cut it in half.
It's about the same size as a political sign.
There you go.
Real close. Not very big.
And what, obviously, hours of operation are going to be kind of difficult because you're on demand, sort of.
24/7.
Right. So is the intention to run the business every day, all day?
Yes. But keep in mind, it's always reserved. It's not like a taxi business.
Right.
And our busiest times are Saturday.
And the only vehicles you want to have is the 2 limos, the 1 sedan, the 1 SUV. Is that it? Just
Correct.
the 5?
Yep.
You're not going to be adding like party buses and stuff like that?
No. And might I add, the largest limousine will be in storage during the winter months.
And just to reiterate, you do reside at this location?
Yes. Yes.
Maintenance of the vehicles is not done on premise?
No.
You understand that the county roadway is from the, normally it's from the utility lines to the road. The sign has to be set on the back side of the utility.
Okay.
You understand that?
Right away.
I do.
Are there any further questions or comments from the board?
The sign will be in your front yard.
Yes.
So obviously you're going to...
I think we should probably actually ask him to show us where he's thinking about putting the sign, because that makes a difference too.
I'd like to put it on the in front of the house, if that helps.
In front of the house rather than the side lot where you bring the cars.
Correct. Yeah.
Actually mark it.
I don't. I don't think it's necessary.
Basically, you're talking about parallel to your front doorway or your front sidewalk.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
2x2 sign is not going to be
No.
very big at all.
Earl, for home occupation, you can have, you're entitled to a 3x5.
Right.
So that goes, I would think he'd
It's
be
like
able
a
to have
one
that.
chair beauty shop can put up that
They can
size
put up
sign.
a 3x5, right?
I actually have a very large sign next door to the print shop, directly next door to me. So
right.
I just will do what I need to make the neighbors happy.
You say all the vehicles could be stored safely in the backyard then?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have no issue with that.
So if we put a restriction in, you asked for a 4x4. If we went by even a 3x4, you may go down to 2x2. You could go less, but if we said no more than 3x4, that's 12 square feet. Not lighted.
Not lighted.
And parallel to your sidewalk.
Correct.
To your front door.
Yeah.
And can we put in a restriction that all the vehicles be parked at least no closer to the road than the front of your house?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it makes sense.
I think that's easy to, as you're driving by, people aren't going to see it from one side to the other if they're at least back to the front of your house.
Remonstrance is over.
I understand that. What I'm saying is,
We're not hearing any further comments from the crowd. I apologize. So make sure
the
you
vehicles
direct
for the last few days have been, last few times I've seen them, have all been almost all the way to the back of the house.
In the backyard.
But I understand that sometimes, here's what's going to happen in any limousine service. You got a white limousine and a black limousine, and you're moving them around, and one of them's going to get parked up to the front while you're moving things around. I don't want to make this so restrictive that he's got to move 4 cars to get 1 car out.
I appreciate that.
And I think your general intent is going to have them to the back as far as you can have them anyway. It's safer for you. And the other reason for saying that, I think someone pointed out here that there are numerous, Mr. Weller pointed out, there are numerous vehicles in front lawns all up and down Johnson Road. Within a quarter of a mile of your house, there's properties with 3 or 4 cars sitting out in the grass in front of the house.
Mm-hmm.
and they're certainly not taken care of as well as your cars. That's basically what it comes down to. I appreciate the fact that you've made concessions to try to get along with your neighbors, based on what I've heard tonight.
I agree. Any further questions or comments from the board? And if not, I will entertain a motion.
Madam President, I'd be more than happy to make a motion to approve the petition for the variance of use for Bellwether Properties, Inc. owner and Brett Ritchie, tenant, to run a limousine transportation service with 2 limos, 1 sedan, and 1 SUV. A sign restricted 3x4 or smaller, unlit, parallel. That sign will sit parallel to the his sidewalk going to the front door of the home. Property is located at 7326 West Johnson Road, Michigan City, Indiana, Cool Spring Township, zoned R1B on .39 acres. And the further restriction would be that the cars be stored no closer to the road than the front of the house.
Is everyone clear on the motion?
I think so, but did I miss the actual number of vehicles? Because it is such a small property, and he's asking for the 4.
4.
We definitely want to make sure that's listed.
And not to exceed 2 limos,
Right.
1 sedan, 1 SUV.
That's the total complement of the fleet.
Yes.
You grow, you'll have to go.
I understand that.
Are you agreeable to adding the limit on the vehicles?
I have no problem. If you had more vehicles than that, you'd store them somewhere else anyway. If you could.
I only have one other personal vehicle that's stored somewhere else.
Right. Restriction is to the vehicles that he asked for, which are 2 limos, 1 sedan, and 1 SUV.
Right.
Okay, so I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none, your motion passed.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Petition number 5 is a petition for variance of developmental standards for John and Cynthia Schultz to build a 30 feet by 42 feet pole barn for residential use, but not for dwelling, prior to a residence being built for the property located at 8626 South 100 West, Union Mills, Indiana, Noble Township, zoned ag, on 2.42 acres. If you would already give your legal work to our attorney, please.
Was the first? No, it's storage company. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Did you get an affidavit in the mail from the newspaper?
Let me look here. I don't think we did. Here's something else.
Yeah, that's not what I need.
All right, hang on.
Hang on here,
I got it.
It shows. Oh, there. Another sad quick.
Thank you.
By the way, thank you for putting those cards in order. Nobody ever does that, and I got to pick them all through.
That is nice. I know. No,
So if you would both please state your name and address for the record, please.
Cynthia Schultz, 8626 South, 100 West, Union Mills.
And I am John Schultz, 8626 South, 100 West, Union Mills, Indiana.
So you're going to build a residence. What kind of time frame are you looking at for building a residence?
It'll be a modular.
Okay.
We're considering LaPorte housing right now.
Do you have an anticipated time frame when you might place it?
Like April.
April of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Is there already a count box out on the property?
A what?
Storage box.
Yes.
There is. At the time the modular home is placed or your construction of this structure is completed, will that box be leaving?
We're not sure yet. I don't, we're making this so that we can sell it later on if we want to. It looks like right now that I'll just keep it there until I move everything into the pole barn.
So if we gave you a stipulation that after so many days of the construction is complete on the pole barn, that box has to be removed within 30 days, 60 days, is that going to be a concern for you?
We haven't talked about it. No concern? No. We don't care? I guess we don't care.
Okay.
60 days long enough.
Yeah, 60 days will be okay.
They're really not allowed in that residential setting.
Well, it's ag.
And if they are,
It's agricultural right now, so. So once we put the pole barn on, will it become residential?
No.
Okay, it'll still be agricultural?
It will still be zoned agricultural.
Okay. So.
it will be taxed as a residential property.
Well, we're not going to discuss the taxing. Taxing is not our job on this board. So 30 by 42, and I can't believe Dwayne hasn't asked that if that's big enough.
Waiting to see,
Yeah, the house is going to be bigger than that, so yeah.
Okay. Electric and water?
No water for sure. Electric eventually, but I have lanterns.
So you're not going to live in the structure while the home. Okay, very good.
It'll be a man cave without electricity.
We'll talk.
Yeah.
That's a cave.
Yeah, there you go.
And is it going to be a prefab structure similar to the modular home? You're going to have a...
No, it'll be a stick built. Menard special.
Do I have any remonstrators this evening for petition number 5? Anybody for or against? If I could get you both to have a seat, we'll listen to some remonstrators and... Good evening. If you would state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, my name's Catherine Flannery, and I live at 8709 South 100 West. I've never been to one of these meetings, so I guess have some questions.
Okay.
They're asking to build a pole barn before the residents. And my understanding is they're saying they just want to build it because they want to store items. Is that correct?
That's definitely what it sounds like to me.
Okay, and by having this meeting, you guys will have the residents on that street will have some kind of guarantee that the house definitely will be built within a certain time period?
That's going to be one of the questions or constraints that we put on the vote if we approve it.
Okay, because that was one of the concerns a couple of us neighbors had, that, okay, you build this pole barn and then maybe something happens and then the block, there's only 3 houses on the block anyway, so now we're going to be left with this structure that's just going to be an eyesore and everything. So we were just concerned about making sure there was a residence going to be in a timely fashion on there. And then I just noticed, which I didn't know it was theirs, I did notice it looked like a semi-truck.
That's the construction box that we were discussing.
By just looking at it, I just saw that it was there. Did they specifically state on any map where it is? It's it is on their property, and how far does that have to be away from property lines?
So what Melissa was talking to earlier, we were referring to this box, and she's saying that it will be required to be removed because they're not allowed in that area without a variance also.
Okay, but I'm right, it's there right now.
It is there.
So is there any restriction on how far it has to be away from a property line?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because I just noticed it today. And if there is, how many feet away from a property line does it have to be?
No, it's setback. Storage. That's not permanent.
So what we're discussing here, since it is a temporary structure...
What's your concern? Instead of asking the questions, tell us what you don't like.
I just wanted to make sure, it's on their property. So I don't
Oh, I
know,
think
like,
it's-
I just saw it now and it was almost dark, so I just want to make sure, like, is that it on their property? And
No, it definitely is on their property.
It
And that's irrelevant to what
Okay.
we're doing here. Okay.
Well, it just was brought up and I just,
I understand.
so that's why I was just asking. So, excuse me, I just never been to one of these meetings. Okay. So that was our only concern, that there for sure is going to be in a timely fashion, because we just didn't want an eyesore being on our street, considering now there's only going to be a fourth house on that street.
Okay. So the proposed construction for the residents is April, this coming spring,
Okay.
is what they've indicated.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other remonstrators for petition number 5? Okay, hearing none. If you guys would like to come back up. So we're all clear on, if the motion gets approved, the variance gets approved, that construction box has got to go within 60 days of the garage being built, the pole building being built. And that construction of the home will start in April of 2020, or will it be completed by April?
It'll probably start in March. Right now, they're
Okay.
backdated until February. So we have to decide what we're going to put up there now. So
But do you anticipate?
Reasonable to say completion by June 30th, that gives you a window.
Yeah.
It alleviates the fears that there's not going to be a house built there. And that puts you in a situation where you miss by 1 or 2 days what we said in the stipulation. Is that fair enough?
that sounds good.
Anybody got a problem with that? Just say the completion date by June 30th?
No, Earl.
Thank you, Earl. When do you anticipate starting construction on the pole building?
Probably we're thinking March now because the winter time is here. It takes 3 weeks to deliver the stuff.
So we're talking about a relatively short period of time between the pole building and the home.
Oh yeah, won't be long.
Okay.
You building a pole barn yourself?
Yeah.
There you go.
Like I say, Menard Special. They give you a blueprint and everything.
Do I have any further questions or comments of the board? If not, I'll entertain a motion, please.
I'll make the motion. I'll make a motion that the petition for variance of developmental standards for John and Cynthia Schultz be granted to build a 30 by 42 pole barn for storage, not to be used as dwelling, prior to the building of a residence, which will start or be built by June 30th of 2020. The other restriction is also that after the building is built, they have 60 days to empty and remove the storage container, which is on the property. This property is located at 8626 South, 100 West, Union Mills, Indiana, Noble Township, zoned ag on 2.42 acres.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none, petition's granted. Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, petition number 6 this evening is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Charles and Virginia Beach to construct a second accessory structure, pool house, 20 feet by 40 feet, with a bathroom for residential use for the property located at 4899 East, 700 North, Rolling Prairie, Indiana, Galena Township, zoned ag on 14.39 acres.
We all recognize this one, right? This was, remember the guy that came to practice?
Yes.
For his wedding venues?
I thought it was a...
No, this is adequate.
Thank you. Could you state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, good evening. My name's Charles Beach, and I live at, my address is 4899 East 700 North, Rolling Prairie, 46371.
Charles, how long have you lived at the residence?
We don't live there full time.
Okay.
I'm actually employed by the state of Illinois, so I have residence in Chicago and Cook County. I actually work for Cook County as well as the state, and so mostly we're there on the weekends. And my schedule is like a fireman's schedule, so I'm on 3, I'm off for 3.
Okay.
So I'm out a lot during the week, and then sometimes on the weekends with my kids and my wife.
How long have you owned the property?
Since April.
Okay. So the pool is already there. You just want to add a structure to change clothes, rinse off.
Yeah, somewhere where the kids can go to the bathroom other than the pool.
The pool.
that would be ideal.
Good luck with that.
Thank you. Yeah, there's some things I can do, and there's some things I can't. That's probably one of them I cannot do, but I'm going to try. So.
Okay. Are there any remonstrators here this evening for this petition? Anybody for or against the petition for Charles and Virginia Beach? Hearing none, do I have any questions or comments, clarifications from the board?
No.
If not, I will entertain a motion.
I'll do it. Petition for variance of developmental standard for Charles and Virginia Beach to construct a secondary structure, pool house, 20 by 40 with a bathroom for residential use. This property is located at 4899 East 700 North. That's in Rolling. It's zoned ag. It's on 14 plus acres.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none, your petition's passed. Good luck.
Thank you. If I may say something, I'm a judge and I run a courtroom. You guys do a fantastic job. You have
Thank you very much.
Do a great job. So I was very impressed with the whole thing. Thank you, guys.
That's made my day.
Pat yourself on the back.
That made my day. Petition number 7
By
is
the
a
way,
petition.
it's taken years to get them to do
10,
this.
12. Petition for special exception for Justin and Bianca Hausman to construct a second residence for parents on the property located at 5601 West, U.S. Highway 6 in Union Mills, Noble Township, zoned ag on 4.95 acres. What? Yeah.
So this
We're going to have to build it here. This is Highway 6. Their driveway stops here. It's a big property. Oh, but
this is existing driveway here.
Mm-hmm.
Neighbor. Yeah, for them. Yeah. This was Mr. Lakewood. This was his daughter. Yeah.
We're going to pack it and show the picture.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but
No, it's adequate.
thank you. Would you state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, hi. Bianca Hausman at 56.
Bianca, get right up in that microphone.
Bianca
sweetie.
Hausman
There
at
you go.
5601 West US Highway 6, Union Mills, Indiana.
And you want to build a structure for your parents to live in?
Correct.
Are your parents aging?
Yes.
They need assistance?
Not yet. My mom is 70 and she had a mini stroke in January and she recovered quite nicely though.
And the location of the structure is going to be in the rear of the property, that northwest corner, is that
correct?
Correct. How are we going to access the house?
We have egress, ingress rights to the access road that's dividing the properties.
So when you say egress and ingress, is there a recorded easement?
Yes.
That you have?
I presented the documents.
Do you own an additional property that you gained access to that road?
No. It was on the warranty deed written when we purchased the property. Did I not?
It was probably there because
his father and daughter.
That's right.
But it
stays with
it will, the easement or however it stays with the property, not with the owner. The easement stays with the property.
Not with you. And your neighbor understands that and is fine with that.
Correct.
You've been using the road
Correct.
to access the other buildings.
Correct. We also have Mr. Limborg. He's a farmer behind northwest corner, and he also agreed. So,
who maintains the private drive?
We all do. Limborg drops gravel there if needed. Me and my neighbor also cut the grass. We take turns.
Snowplow?
My husband does a snow plowing.
And if we were to grant this petition, understanding that you'd have to post the address very clearly and visibly off of US 6 because it will be hard to see.
Okay.
Fire department, emergencies, whatever.
Okay.
EMS.
Yeah, that's going to be
that's very
biggest
crucial.
challenge for you to make sure that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be next to my mailbox then? Or should it be
I
on
think
the
it's going
easement
to come
road?
off the lane with the
The lane?
easement.
Okay.
So they know where it's at. Those illuminated signs so they can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go to the Noble Township Fire Department, they can help you with that, I'm sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Attorney Beachy, how are we doing down there? You're good on the easement part? Are there any remonstrators this evening for petition number 7? Anybody for or against the petition? Any remonstrators? Hearing none. Any further questions or comments of the board?
I mean, we're always happy to see people, take this kind of approach to taking care of their parents rather than asking for a trailer. So, a good substantial structure
Good way
is
to
a
do
good
it.
thing. So, it's very positive.
Thank you.
Is that a motion?
No, if you ask for a motion, I'll
Would
give
you?
that too.
I would love to have a motion, Glenn.
I'd like to make a motion to the petition for a special exception for Justin and Bianca Hausman to construct a second residence for their parents be granted. The property is located at 5601 West U.S. Highway 6, Union Mills, Indiana, Noble Township, zoned ag on 4.9 acres. The only exception being asked for is a very clear sign defining the location for emergency services.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none, your motion passed.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And when you go to the building commissioner's office, they'll give you the side setbacks and all kinds of information for the structure.
Tomorrow.
Good luck. Petition number 8 is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Hugo E. and Deanne R. Gonzalez to construct a second accessory post-frame building 36 feet by 64 feet for residential use, not for residential dwelling, for the property located at 6283 North, 125 West, LaPorte, Indiana, Springfield Township, zoned ag on 3.27 acres.
I had to wonder what. I said, don't you live? Take it off. I do. There's a second shot.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't in the window. Bring that up.
Notice is adequate.
Okay, thank you. Would you state your name and address for the record, please?
Good evening. Hugo Enrique Gonzalez. My address is 6283 North 125 West, LaPorte, Indiana.
Okay, Hugo, you already have another structure there on the house.
Correct.
Can you explain to me the need for this second structure?
So the second structure that was there was here a few years ago, asking for a variance because it was done as a residential. It's like a guest house.
Okay.
This second structure will be utilized mainly for coaching and training my kids. And the lean-to that you guys can see in the petition is for, that they have a tractor and a couple things that are just besides the house in a little shed right now. So put them under the cover it for the weather.
Coaching and training the kids?
Yeah, just my kids, and for them to play during the winter. I mean, basically, it's going to be the main
playground.
use. Yeah,
like a gym or something.
If we can at some point put some things. Yeah, right now is try to put the structure first. Goal will be next year maybe they finish the concrete. For the flooring and little by little make it better. Yeah.
So we're going to keep the guest house.
Yes.
Third one.
And we're going to add the pole barn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that will be the goal. Yeah.
Are you anticipating, obviously, electric and water in the pole barn?
Just electric. Water.
No water?
Is right beside it, so water is not a plan, but electric we're planning to.
So when I went out to this property, I didn't see that you had our notice posted on the structure in the window or anywhere.
Yeah, and it's my bad. My wife and I coordinated this, so she did all the paperwork. I was to put the stakes on the orange sign.
Mm-hmm.
I saw when you were there, because I have a little camera, I didn't see you, but I saw the car. I was like, well, I missed it by a day. I have it out there right now, but I understand if it needs to be put back. I understand it as well. Yeah.
Very nicely kept property.
I agree. I was about to say the same thing, Earl. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any remonstrators this evening for petition number 8? I have to ask.
That's right.
Any remonstrators here for or against petition number 8? Hearing none, if there are no further questions or clarifications or comments from the board, I will entertain a motion.
How many kids and what are you coaching?
I have 4 kids. The goal will be the 3 oldest are boys. The little one is a girl. So the dimensions are by my wife for a volleyball court because she would like to coach the little one for volleyball eventually. But right now it's going to be soccer, and my father-in-law play good LaPorte baseball. So we do baseball during winter into the spring, and soccer is kind of the fall into the winter. So busy schedules. But
baseball players. All I got to say.
Yeah.
Any further questions or comments? I will entertain a motion.
I'll move that we approve the petition for variance of developmental standards for Hugo E. and Deanna R. Gonzalez to construct a second accessory post-frame building 36 feet by 64 feet for residential but not dwelling. Property is located at 6283 North, 125 West, LaPorte, Indiana, Springfield Township, zoned agricultural on 3.27 acres. And this will have electricity.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, your motion passed. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you. Going back to petition number 2, which was moved to the end of the agenda. Petition number 2 for a special exception for William and Ashley Wiseman, owners, and Vicky Shoup, tenant, to operate a preschool/daycare facility out of an accessory structure previously used as a beauty shop on property with a maximum of 15 children ages 2 to 4 for the property located at 7255 West Bleck Road, Michigan City, Indiana, Cool Spring Township, zoned R1B on 2.5 acres. Petition number 2. Is there anyone here for petition number 2?
Well,
hearing none.
I'll make the motion then. I'll make a motion for the petition number 2 for the special exemption for William and Ashley Wiseman, owner, and Vicky Shoup, tenant, to be removed from our agenda as denied.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So moved. Attorney BG, is there any further business before the board?
No, ma'am.
Anne Marie, is there any further business for the board on your end?
No.
Okay.
I really don't like it when they don't display those cards, though.
When what?
I know.
They don't display the cards. It really angers me because sometimes they're like this when they're behind another house or
it's difficult
down
to
a
find
long
them.
lane and you're driving up and down. And at least if they had the card, you might see it.
Makes it obvious.
Yeah.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
I have a motion and a second.
Second.
So moved. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you.